A year ago, this wouldn't have been even remotely possible, but thanks to the CS2 market crashing so much, plus the addition of the covert trade-ups, I can finally make this video. Hey guys, it's Turbo, and this is the full CS2 loadout with a knife and gloves for under $150 in 2026. But first we need to set a couple rules, because otherwise it's going to be absolute chaos. So rule number one, the skins have to work together in some way. If we use some gloves that don't really work with any of the skins, then really what's the point? And rule number two, the maximum budget is $150 and of course we're going to be using cash prices. And rule number three, we're just going to be sticking to the meta weapons that pretty much almost everyone uses. So we're going to be leaving out stuff like the CZ, the R8, even the MP5, because not a lot of people really use them. And that gives us more budget for the skins that really matter. But with that out of the way, we definitely have to figure out what kind of theme to go with. But while I'm thinking about that, huge thanks to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. Got a Steam inventory full of trash tier skins you never use? This video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey, the fastest and easiest way to turn your junk into some fresh new play skins. Connect your Steam account, select the skins you want to trade. You can also use code TURBO to claim up to a $5 bonus. They have a massive selection of skins and plenty of options to deposit. Code TURBO gets you an extra 5%. There's also freebies where you can enter giveaways and 24/7 live support if you run into any issues. Check out my SkinsMonkey link down below to support the channel. All right, boys, we're back, and I think I finally know what we're gonna do. We're gonna go for a green themed loadout, and to get the most bang for our buck, we're gonna go with some driver glove racing green field testeds. Sure, they're not the best gloves in the game, but they're super cheap, and they'll definitely work for a green themed inventory. All right, boys, let's get into the skins. And you know it, for the dualies, I picked the twin turbos. Sure, I might be a little biased, but they have a lot of green, they look super sick, and they're really cheap. For the P250, we have the X-Ray, which is debatably green, but it does kind of work with the gloves. Overall, I just think it's a really underrated skin and not nearly enough people use it. For the Tech 9, of course, we had to go with the Bamboozle. The Vibrant Green just looks absolutely sick. It pairs absolutely perfectly with the gloves. For the Deagle, we have the Tilted, which looks absolutely sick. Although it's debatable if it's on the more blue side, I think it still works really well with the gloves. For the USPS, we have the factory new Tropical Breeze, which looks absolutely incredible. I mean, it's part of the Boreal collection, and these are only getting cheaper. Moving on to the 5.7, we have the factory new Scrawl, which for under $1 looks really sick. You have the green and of course the yellow. And honestly, this skin just has a lot going on and it's kind of a vibe. And you know it, for the Glock, we had to go with the Glocking Bird. It doesn't have the most green, but it has a sick design, of course, the bird, the yellow, the metal, and of course the green. It's just a really good skin overall. But for the P90, of course, we went with a factory new Wavebreaker, which just looks really sick with the green and the blue. Sure, it's not the greenest P90, but this skin absolutely slaps. As for the MP9, there weren't a lot of great options, but we went with a factory new BioLeak, which is green, but it's not the prettiest looking skin out there. Like, it's a little ugly, but it fits the theme and works with the gloves, and that's good enough for me. The Nova Toy Soldier was an absolute no-brainer. It's super green and just has a really clean design. For the UMP, we have the Plastique, which isn't the most green UMP in the game, but it has just enough to work super well with this loadout. For the XM, we have the Tech Glue Burner, which does have a pretty decent amount of green, but it also has like this really cool flame effect that just looks absolutely amazing. Overall, kind of a W skin. And for the MP7, I went with the field tested Power Core, which is super duper cheap, but it's also really green. That with the gray and the yellow accents just looks super good together. Of course, for the AK, I had to go with the Outsiders. I mean, literally just the cheaper, better version of the Fire Serpent. And I gotta keep it real, it actually looks really nice with the gloves. Moving on to the Galil, we have the Green Apple Factory New. And I gotta be real, considering how cheap it is, it looks so sick. For the Scout, you know it, we had to go with the Acid Fade. And because the skin was discontinued last year, but there's such a crazy high supply, you can get this for really cheap. Also, it's pattern based, so try to get one with a lot more green. For the Krieg, we had to go with the Dragon Tech just because it has a really sick design and it's green, so it kind of fits perfectly. But speaking of skins that actually look good, we have the M4A1S Electrum Factory New. This is from the Dead Hand Terminal, and it's probably only going to get cheaper as time goes on, but sure, it's not the greenest, but it's definitely the cleanest. The gold details also kind of give off night vibes. And again, we have another downgrade with the M4A4 Choppa Factory New. Sure, it doesn't have the best design, but it just works perfectly with the gloves. And it's not a terrible skin either. You know I had to pick the Snake Song for the FAMAS just because, I mean, number one, it's pretty new, and number two, it just looks incredible. Absolutely sick design with the snake, and it's just green. And of course, for the op, we went with the Ice Cold because it matches the Wavebreaker, and it has enough green to just look really nice. I mean, sure, there's like the Containment Breach, but but that's well above the budget. So this was the most reasonable one. And I guess if you go with an Atheris, it is more green and it is cheaper, but this isn't a $130 inventory. It's a $150 inventory. And personally, I just kind of think the ice cold is a little bit nicer. And for the knife, I went with the survival knife Safari Mesh. Not exactly the greatest knife in the game, but I gotta be real, it does look pretty good with the gloves. And it's also not a Navaja, so, you know, it could be a lot worse. It's also really cheap and puts us right below the $150 threshold. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Let me know if you would have picked other skins and what inventory should I do next time. Hype the video if you're on mobile. It helps a lot in the algorithm. Subscribe with the bell and consider becoming a member. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's Turbo and I'm out. Peace.